How you going, brothers? And the occasional sister joining us today on the Bro Check Club. Three brothers living in a house. Elderly brothers, aged 96, 95 and 94. It's a two-storey house, and the oldest is upstairs running himself a bath. He's just finished running himself a bath, and he's just about to get into the bath, and he thinks, hold on a minute, was I getting into the bath, or have I just got out of the bath? So he shouts to his brothers downstairs, "Hey, bros! Did I just have a bath, or am I getting into a bath?" The middle brother goes, "Oh, God." So I'll come up, hold on. So he starts to go up the stairs. He gets halfway up the stairs and he thinks, hold on a minute. Was I going up the stairs, or am I just going back down the stairs? So he shouts to his youngest brother, "Hey, bro, what was I doing? Was I coming up the stairs or going down the stairs?" Younger brother goes, "Oh, for God's sake, man." He goes, "I hope I never lose my memory like that." And he knocks on wood like you do. He goes, I'll be up as soon as I answer the door. Someone's at the door." That there kind of illustrates loss. And loss comes to us in so many forms. We lose our hearing as we grow older. We lose bodily functions. You might lose a limb. You might lose your eyesight, or just deteriorates. Your body gets weaker. And you lose your hair. And that's what life is. It's about enduring things that you lose. And the hardest thing, of course, that we lose is people we love, particularly family. And the hardest of that is always when it's somebody who's younger than us, because we've had our time and they haven't had theirs. But also, most of you are either at some point losing your mother or your father, hopefully in that order. And when you go to your dad's funeral, you want to be the strongest person there. So loss is something that we have to work how to go through it, how to grieve, but also have little moments, little increments of happiness along the way of the process of grieving. Find the humour in things as well, so we're not just plunging into that grieving period all the time. For older people, we have this sort of acceptance. For younger people, much harder. When you go through this, you hope that you can go through it and come out eventually to have some equilibrium and get back to the normal world and normal life. You have to. Life's got to keep on going on. If you lose a child or even a baby or someone younger, then it's a struggle. It's so much harder. I know about that. I know what that feels like. But also, it's really important for us men and women to make sure that we come away from the experience not damaged or broken people, but we've built something stronger, so we can not only cope ourselves in the future, but we can be a pillar of strength to those around us, so that when our parents die at their funeral, we can also guide the younger people through that grief and help them through it, and help them make a transition through their own grieving period with the support and love that we have learnt in doing our own grieving period. Death is a very natural thing, loss is a very natural thing, and everybody's coping mechanism is different for it. I lost a girlfriend when I was very, very young. She committed suicide. She hung herself, and as a young man, it was devastating, and the grieving process went for a long time. I wrote songs about it, and in my own way I found ways to grieve, to go through the grieving process. And I realised at one point, life has just got to keep going. You just can't stop. The world keeps turning. Bills have to be paid. People have to be looked after. I've got to be responsible. And every one of us men want to be a better bloke tomorrow than the person we are today. Of course, physically that's not possible because we deteriorate. But up here, where everything goes on, it's really important to. And we have a thing, I think Socrates said, be guided by your conscience. Your conscience will tell you. And it does. You know when you're doing something wrong, and you have to be disciplined at listening to your conscience. You're doing something, and your conscience is telling you all the time to don't do that, do this. So I would say develop a mechanism inside yourself, I guess you could call that discipline, where you cultivate discipline to listen to your conscience, because someone like me spouting off, or anybody, is one thing, but the biggest teacher is going on right in here. Head, guts, soul, body. The Bible has some really good basic common sense rules. Do no harm. Love thy neighbour, but don't get caught. It doesn't actually say don't get caught. That was just me being silly. The 10 Commandments are basic rules, but we've got those all inside our conscience. You could read the Bible and refresh yourself, but you know inside yourself. So as you're going through a grieving process in life, your conscience is also there to tell you certain things. And there'll be one part that will be saying to you, come on, you've got to get back up now, and you've got to go and get the food, and you've got to take care of your animals, and you've got to look after your children, and you've got to still keep on being proactive at being sensible and responsible. You have to listen to your conscience there, and then find these little moments of joy and happiness as you're going through loss to cushion it. It's the best you can do. And yes, you lose somebody and it will never be the same again, but you don't want to become damaged from losing people, because we lose people at all stages of our life. You can lose someone who's younger than you, someone who's older than you at any time, and if each piece of loss really damages you to the point where you can't get back up into life again, firstly, the person that's passed away would not want you to be damaged, and you are no good to those around you in your community, those that love you, those that care about you, if you're damaged. So make it your goal that when you suffer loss, that you not only get back up on the horse, but you come away with it something that you can utilize and become a better version of yourself, to learn to endure pain in the future. It's easy to get cynical as you get older, and you suffer these great losses, and you start to wonder, God, what next? Recently, Margaret, well, she died yesterday, Margaret Ulrich, 57 years of age, a beautiful, beautiful human being. She was a singer, was in the band Pekin Man, and then she was in the band When the Cat's Away. I grew up with her through the 80s, but through a lot of my musical colleagues, I only ever heard wonderful, wonderful comments about her as a human being, not just as an artist. She was an incredible singer, and her brother was too, but her legacy, when I'm talking amongst my musical colleagues, is that she was a wonderful person. We all know she was a great artist, but she was a wonderful person. I'm damn sure that she lived listening to her conscience a lot of the time. Sadly, there's a saying, the young die, only the young, is it only the good die young? That's it, only the good die young. And I think there's some truth in that, because a lot of people that give to their community, that give all the time themselves, that become selfless, they listen to their conscience to the point so much, they care so much, they end up depleting their own energy, and often they end up with disease. I see this a lot. And then, you know, these rat bags, these real people that you think, how the hell did you get to 100? How did you get to 90? You miserable old bastard. There's an old guy in my community, I won't say his name, and he's like in his 80s, and he's absolutely miserable. Someone's dog barking at the window. He's absolutely miserable, and he'll may make 100. He's selfish, and all he does is care about himself. And anyway, loss will be his one day. We're all eventually going to meet our maker, or as I talk about death quite a bit, because I think it's important. I think it's important for us to recognise that it is going to be something we're all going to face. In order to live, you need to face the fact that you are not immortal, that one day you'll be gone. It's been on my mind a lot lately. I've been thinking about it, not in a morbid way, but in a positive way. So, brothers, today, check on yourself. Check you're listening to your conscience. Check that... I just think about that joke I told you at the beginning. That's one of the worst things I think you can lose, is your memory and your mind. Alzheimer's is terrible. I pray that I go with a heart attack or something else, then develop a loss of the mind, because I think that's the biggest loss. But it happens. Anyway, go steady, brothers. Check on each other. Check on your family. Check on your conscience. And listen to your conscience. Don't just go on up, because it's telling you something. It's telling you the right answers all the time. The thing is about pharmaceutical companies, chemists, doctors, they've got some amazing things today. They've got amazing machinery that can measure where you're at. Amazing stuff for healing. But the biggest pharmaceutical company, all of that combined, is all within ourselves. And a lot of it starts with listening to conscience, your conscience mind. That's where the healing can begin, and by listening to it and acting on it. Right, I went longer than I was going today. Hope you enjoyed my funny joke at the beginning of the video. I thought it was funny. And we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.